Hello and welcome you all in my YouTube channel English with Rekha Mishra. You know that many people are confused about the difference between phrases, clauses and sentences? Yes, in this session we are going to know the differences between phrases and clauses. First of all, we will look at the similarities of phrases, clauses and sentences. You can see here that phrases refer to a group of words that are meaningful. Clauses also refer to a group of words that are meaningful. Sentences also refer to a group of words that are meaningful. These are the similarities. So we can say that phrases, clauses and sentences are group of words and they all are meaningful also. Look at these examples. Pink cotton dress. I agreed to it. I like cheese. So if you look here, first of all, we have pink cotton dress. Pink cotton dress is a phrase because it doesn't have a subject-verb combination. It means that a phrase should not have a subject-verb combination. Here we don't find any subject-verb combination, so we can say that it's a phrase. Because phrase is a group of words without a subject-verb combination. And next we have clause. And the example we have given here, that's I agreed to it. Here we have subject I and verb agreed, right? So we can say that it's a subject verb combination, right? So we can say it's a clause because a clause is a group of words with a subject verb combination. Now let's talk about sentence. If we talk about sentence, we have one example here, I like cheese. It is a group of words with a subject verb and an object. I is the subject, like is the verb and cheese is the object. So the similarity is these all three are group of words and these are meaningful. And the difference is that phrase is a group of words without a subject verb combination. Clause is a group of words with a subject verb combination. And a sentence is a group of words with a subject verb and an object. Now we will learn most common types of phrases. Here we have noun phrases, verb phrases, adjective phrases, adverb phrases and prepositional phrases. These are the most common types of phrases which we use. So as you know, as you can guess with its name, a noun phrase, if a phrase focuses on the noun, if a phrase focuses on the noun, we can say that it's a noun phrase. You have here one example, glass full of water. Here we are focusing on glass, which is a noun, so it is a noun phrase. Next we have verb phrase. If a phrase is a combination of main verb and its auxiliaries or helping verb in a sentence, it will be called a verb phrase. Here you can see, here we have is helping verb and eating the main verb. So we can say that it's a combination of helping verb and main verb, so it's a verb phrase. Next we have adjective phrase. If there is focus on adjective, it will be called adjective phrase. Like full of water, full, we are focused here on adjective which is full, so it will be adjective phrase. Next we have adverb phrase. If there is focus on adverb, it will be called an adverb phrase. Very slowly, what is adverb here? Very is the adverb. So here we have focused on very, so it will be called adverb phrase. Next we have prepositional phrase. Prepositional phrases consist of a preposition, object of preposition, and may also consist of other modifiers. You can see here I have given two examples. One is in the car, next is under the table. In the car, here we are focused on in, which is preposition, so it will be known as prepositional phrase. And here also we are focused on preposition which is under, so it will be known as prepositional phrase. Now it was all about phrases. Now we will learn about clauses. We will learn about clauses. If you talk about clauses, a sentence can have one or more than one clause. Some clauses can work alone as a sentence, but some seems to be incomplete. Based upon that, we divide clauses into two types. First is main clause or independent clause. Second is subordinate clause or dependent clause. You can see an independent clause and dependent clause. If you talk about independent clause, it seems like a simple sentence. It can stand on its own as a complete sentence. Here we have one example. He wrote a letter. You can see the example. He wrote a letter. Here we can say that he wrote a letter is a clause because it has a subject which is he and it has a verb which is wrote, right? And it's independent because it can be a sentence on its own, right? It's a sentence on its own, so it's an independent clause. And next we have dependent clause or subordinate clause. It is a clause as it has a subject verb combination, but it cannot be a sentence by itself. As you can see here that it has a subject verb combination. Subject is they and verb is plan, but it's not a sentence on its own, or it's not a clause which stands on its own, so it's a dependent clause, right? And it cannot be a sentence by itself. So here whatever they plan, you can see that whatever they plan is a dependent clause because it has a subject they and verb plan, right? So if you look at it, we can say that it's a dependent clause because it is not a complete sentence. When I say whatever they plan, you will ask, then what? So here the sentence is incomplete. This is a dependent clause. To make it a full sentence, you will have to combine it with an independent clause such as whatever they plan, I will accept that. I will accept that is an independent clause, and whatever they plan is a dependent clause. And usually dependent clause will have words like when, while, whenever, before, although, whatever, after, because of, and unless. Here we have one example, one exercise to do. So it's better if you do it. The question is, write down whether the following are clauses or phrases. You can see here I have given a few, I won't say that sentences or clauses. Here I have given questions which you have to solve out. You have to give answer, and I will obviously will be there to give the answers along with you. So first I have surrounded by many problems. What do you say? It's a phrase or a clause? What do you say? Of course, it's a phrase. Why? Because it doesn't have a subject-verb combination. Do you find any subject-verb combination here? No. Next we have for 15 days. It's a phrase because here also we don't have a subject-verb combination. Next we have he reached home on time. What do you say? It's a subject. You find here any subject-verb combination? You can say it's a clause, or you don't find here any subject-verb combination. You say it's a phrase. Of course, here we have subject and a verb. He is the subject, reached is the verb. So here we find a subject-verb combination, and we can see that it's a clause. Next we have whenever I call her. Whenever I call her. Do you find here any subject-verb combination? No. So it's a phrase, right? Next we have I always take my mom's permission. Do you find here any subject-verb combination? Yes, of course. I is the subject and take is the verb. So it's a clause. So here you can see that what are clauses and what are phrases, right? Now we will identify the phrases. What we will do? We will identify the phrases. Here we have to tell whether it's a verb combination, it's a verb phrase, it's a noun phrase, it's a prepositional phrase or it's an adverb phrase, right? Or an adjective phrase. First we have is dancing. Where we have focused here? Of course, we are focusing here on dancing, but it's a combination of, you can see that it's a combination of helping verb is and main verb dancing. So it's a verb phrase. Next we have a pink cotton shirt. Where we are focusing here? We are focusing on shirt, and it's a pink cotton shirt. So it show. And what is shirt? Shirt is a noun, so it will be a noun phrase. Next we have taken. Have is the helping verb and taken is the verb. So we can say that it's a verb phrase. Next, to be on time. Here focus on preposition on, right? So we can say that it's a prepositional phrase. Next we have in a loud voice. In which type of voice? In a loud voice. So here we are talking about loud. We are focused on loud. So and what is loud here? Loud is an adverb. So it's an adverb phrase. Next we have quite easily. Here we are focusing on quite. So what is quite? Quite is also adverb. So it's an adverb phrase. Next, in a brown frock. Here in brown frock. We have focused on in we have focused on brown frock. So here we can say that brown is an adjective, so it will be an adjective phrase. Now we will identify the clauses, right? Whether these are dependent or independent. If you look at the first one, because I had forgotten to bring my pen, what is it? It's a dependent clause. You know why? Because first of all, I have started it with because. If we, you know that because, whenever, whatever, when, all these words can be found in dependent clauses only. Next is, so first one is dependent clause. Next is my friends were waiting for me. Here, what is this? Of course, it stands on its own and it's working as an independent sentence, right? And it's so we can say it's an independent clause. Next, we have she borrowed an old dress. So this also stands on its own. So we can say it's also an independent clause. Next one, I went to the beach last Saturday. Here also we don't find anything. We can say that it is depending on other. So it's not the dependent clause. It's of course an independent clause. Next you can see while I was running fast. As I told you that if we write any sentence with while, when, whatever, whichever, or when or although, so that will be a dependent clause. While I was running fast is a dependent clause. Next, when suddenly they stopped talking. Here also I have started with when, so it will be dependent clause. After that we have after many people came to help. I have not started here with many. I have started it with help. Sorry, it with after. So it will be also a dependent clause. Next, my friends invited me to play with them. As here it stands on its own as a totally independent sentence. So we can say that it's an independent clause. Next, a large dog chased me down the beach. Here also, a large dog chased me down the beach. It's an independent clause because it stands on its own. This one, although I knew about it, as it's beginning with although and it's totally dependent on other part of the sentence, so we can say it's a dependent clause. So it was all about the difference between phrases and clauses. Hope you understood it very well. If you have any doubt, you can ask in my comment section. Thank you so much for watching it. Please do like and subscribe my video and share it so that more and more people can be benefited with it.